I was at a breaking point in my life when I came there. I was like, if I don't do something, I don't want to live anymore.
The children were very afraid, scared. They're, seeing a lot of horror.
I don't want them to feel what I felt. I want them to feel comfort in their life. I want them to feel safe in their life. I want them to feel secure in their life. I want them to know that there is always a way through something without taking the path that Mom took.
So the phone's ringing on a daily basis, and individuals and families who are finding themselves homeless are calling. And there's been an increase in families who have recently been through a domestic violence situation. There's calls in regards to people who are finding themselves homeless for the first time. They just lost their job. They don't have the resources, whether it's in the bank or the supports around them, in order to sustain for a short amount of time. They're finding themselves homeless.
I was released from prison, actually with a halfway house, and I got pregnant 2 weeks later, pretty much.
My boyfriend went to jail for domestic violence against me, so I was left by myself with the two girls to fend for myself, and it was his apartment in his name, and he was facing eviction apparently, and cops came to my house to put me and my two little girls on the street, and we were literally standing on the side of the street.
I got really heavy into things out there that I really bad. I mean, to the point where I looked so awful when my mom picked me up at the airport that she started crying before she even went through the doors. So it's been a problem for me for a long time, and I can happily say today that it's not.
At Stepping Stones, we provide a unique service to the families and the individuals that we work with. There's other agencies in the community that do wonderful work, but they do not provide or match what we are providing here at Stepping Stones. We provide a continuum of care. Calls are coming in, individuals, families need that step up, and that's what we provide. We receive the calls, we assist them, intake them into our shelters, and then we move them right along. We connect them to resources, we connect them to services, and then we transition them out into their own apartments. And we're also there to continue our support. And once they're in their apartments, they'll need that support. So whether it's connecting to a new doctor's office, etc., and we're right there for them. And that's an important thing because other providers aren't able to provide that support.
And with Stepping Stones showing me that, there's a step to do this and a step to, to get you on the list, to get you into a housing, to get you the apartment. There's a step to make sure you continue work. Start looking for work if you think you're going to be out of work. There's counseling to help you get through all the stress that you're going through.
With these resources I was provided, I learned how to take care of myself. And now I can do that, and I can take care of my child.
I'm in therapy. I've been at my position for 7 months. The girls have been in daycare for about 8-9 months.
While the families are at our shelter, they're connected to a case manager, and they will see the case manager from daily to every other day to weekly. And what the case manager does is they sit down with each of the families, each of the individuals, and puts a plan together. So it's connecting them to resources in the community and what the needs are for that individual.
As soon as I had a roof over my head, it felt like the whole world, like a lot was lifted off my shoulder. Like, wow, I was just like, I can't think of how many times I called Linda and said, thank you. And I still, I call her and I'm like, thank you. Every time I see her, just thank you. I don't even, I have no clue on how to repay somebody like that besides help the next person.
Well, I said tomorrow, and she said, can you move in tonight? And I said, oh, yeah. And so I was like, wow, you know what I mean? It was almost like I couldn't believe it, and I was scared, and I didn't know what to expect. It was a very comfortable environment for me to be in, and Linda, she's amazing. She's really helped me a lot.
It's just such a great program, and I'm so thankful. I really am. I'm very thankful, and I don't know where I'd be without it, honestly.
Typical resources that families will need can be transportation. We set them up with a bus pass. It could be daycare, so we'll assist them in connecting to daycares in the area. Employment, education, and we're right beside them as they're making the calls, as they're in the community connecting with these resources. We're right there with them.
I'm happy. It makes me like speechless, really. I look at her when she says, "Mom, I'm so proud of you." She's like, look at you. She goes, you were sleeping at your friend's house, and you got your own place, and you're working, and you got your own car. And she's like, Mom, you did it all over again. And it puts tears in my eyes to see the happiness, and she wants to come live with me.
To see them happy, and I don't ever want to see them sad. They're the world, and to what they went through, I just don't want them to ever feel that way ever again.
If Linda was sitting here, I would tell her, thank you. Because she has listened to me, she has helped me, she has hugged me, she has been a very important person in my life. I felt very cared about by her. I felt that she cared about me a lot, and I just, every time I would talk to her, I would always know that it was gonna be okay. And like having that kind of confidence when you've never had it before is pretty amazing.
If it wasn't for this, I probably would still be on the streets. I wouldn't know where to begin.
Any mother, woman out there who feels like there's no hope, that there is no light at the end of the tunnel, call Stepping Stones, because I was in that position and I felt like there was no hope, that there was no light at the end of the tunnel, and it was the best decision I've ever made. And you just got to pick up the phone and make that call, and it will change your life.